Not really dog water, because that'll come back to bite us, you just know it will.
You think he's that guy?
He is that guy.
I think it was a bit silly from there, to be honest.
How would you rate that transfer? We're asking the people outside St James's Park to rate some of the recent transfers in world football. From 0 to 10. From shocker to a blinder. Let's have it. Lads, Kylian Mbappe to Real Madrid.
I mean, it was all right. Not as good as he was at PSG, but
Why is that?
he's just not scoring as much goals as he's not.
Scored 35 in all comps though.
Not getting as much attention as he was at PSG.
Okay. How are you feeling about the transfer as a whole?
He's done alright. You know, they got knocked out of the Champions League pretty early, which is a bit of a shock.
Disappointing.
But he's got a team full of like players, you know, like Bellingham. He's got Vinny, Rodrigo.
He's done all right, I suppose, but
What would you rate that transfer out of 10, boss?
6.
6? A 6?
7. Yeah.
You can have some 0.5s if you like. Go on, give me a definitive answer.
6.8.
Oh, I like that, son. 6.8, Kylian Mbappe to Real Madrid. Do you agree with that? 6.8? I think that's harsh. He's the best player in the world, isn't he?
Not a chance. Isaac.
He was on a free, bro! All right, lads, what, you feeling warm? You feeling sharp?
Sharp. Yeah, definitely.
Julian Alvarez to Atletico Madrid. How are we feeling about that transfer? Okay, so he went for a hefty amount of money. He went for bare dough. Julian Alvarez to Atletico Madrid.
7.
7.5.
Interesting. Do you think that he's going to go on to be the best striker in La Liga?
Nah, definitely not.
Oh dear, well, I kind of do. But how would you feel about that Julian Alvarez to Atletico transfer when it first got made?
I was a bit shocked, to be fair. I thought he would have stayed at Man City, tried to compete with Haaland, but he just hasn't. Marmoush has done that now, so.
Nah, man. What would you say to Julian Alvarez if he was right over there?
Come Newcastle. We need the winger to be fake and play on the wing.
Do you think Man City would have had more of a chance with Julian Alvarez this year?
Yes.
Yeah. I think we've seen a bit of a fall off from them since he left, so yeah.
So you're saying they are dog water?
Not really dog water, because that'll come back to bite us, you just know it will. They'll finish ahead of Newcastle, but nah, to be fair, I predicted Newcastle finish second. It's still on, so.
Hey lads, what I am going to get you to do though is, obviously you gave different answers, so I'm going to need you to correctly rank this Julian Alvarez transfer, bros.
Meet in the middle, go 7.25.
Yeah, 7.25, I agree with that. 7.25.
7.25, meet in the middle.
Yeah.
Hey, drop in the comments who some of these players should have actually gone to, because they should have gone somewhere else. Boom. Kvaratskhelia to PSG, my boy. Well, what do you reckon about that Kvaratskhelia to PSG? Top Napoli player, goes to PSG for 70 M's and turns it all around.
Worth it, to be honest.
Worth it?
Yeah, it's hard these days to get a player that's worth a high transfer fee, but Khvicha is a baller.
Do you think he's that guy?
He is that guy. Yeah, and he's shown it in the UCL. He just goes on players 1v1.
But our boy Ali said that he ruined his career by going to PSG.
No. They're in the UCL final. How can you possibly call that a failure?
So, in that case, my boy, out of 10, and you can use your decimal points, yeah?
Okay.
What are we rating this Khvicha, Kvaratskhelia to PSG move? January signing. Who does January business?
Kvaratskhelia. That's a solid 8.93.
Why, we're rich! We're rich today! We've had some A-list stars so far. Mbappe, Alvarez. What do you guys think has been the best transfer of the season so far? John Duran to Al-Nasser. But what do you reckon? John Duran goes to Al-Nasser straight from Villa in the Premier League. Big money, big wages, and goes to a league with, you know, not a lot of global limelight.
I think he's done the wrong choice. I think he shouldn't have never went to Saudi. I thought he was a top player at Villa. He seemed a lot more consistent at Villa and more well known at Villa.
Can he go back to European top 5 leagues easily?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Just because, I don't know.
definitely Premier League. Maybe I see him in the Bundesliga.
John Duran, he's an incredible profile though, isn't he? Like, because he probably could have been one of the Prem's best strikers, bro. What do you reckon's good about him as a profile and as a striker? Would you want him? That's the question. That's the real question. I know you got a man like Alex.
I would take him.
You would take John Duran?
I would take John Duran. I don't think I would replace him with Isaac. I reckon get in the team with Isaac, but I wouldn't drop Isaac for him. But I think on the ball, He's a strong, powerful striker, and he's finishing's top class.
All right, it's crunch time now, son. I need a rating out of 10. You can use your decimal points for John Duran to Al-Nasser.
5.2.
5.2. Respect. Listen, you've called it.
Cheers.
5.2 it is. Book that in, son. Okay, my boy, state your name.
Luke,
Oh, where you from?
Newcastle.
Oh, man. Omar Marmoush to Manchester City. Scored a hat-trick versus Newcastle. Done loads of bits. He's going to kind of replace Kevin De Bruyne. But what did you think of that transfer? Omar Marmoush goes to Man City.
I think it was good because I think it was a bit silly from there, to be honest, to get rid of Julian Alvarez. I think he was a really, really prolific player, and I think he's been brought in to kind of fill that void. And I think if you ask Pep now, should I have let Alvarez go, he probably would have said no.
In hindsight, would you actually rather have Alvarez or Marmoush?
I think it's hard to say because obviously I'm not a City fan, but he's came in. I think he's got going quite fast. Marmoush, I think, to be fair, I thought he was a good player when he came in. The bits I've seen him at Frankfurt, but I mean, he scored 3 goals against us, didn't he? So I can't exactly call him rubbish, can I? But I think he's the one who's going to grow with time. I think he started really well, so I think the sky's the limit for him. When Salah hangs up his boots, I think he'll be the new
Egyptian,
the new pharaoh
the top
of the Premier
dog.
League. Yes, yeah, definitely. I think he will.
Okay. In that case, all right, let's give it a rating out of 10. You can use your decimal points, son. Rating out of 10, Omar Marmoush to Manchester City.
I think I'll give it a solid 7.8 because I think he's came in. I think from another league, from the Bundesliga. But I think he's done the job, and I think he's only going to get better with time, isn't he?
Oh, right, you know, big man's outside with Bola. Come on, Bola, tell him what you're doing today.
Yeah, today I'm here out supporting. I'm caught in the middle, like I said. I'm a Chelsea fan that lives in Newcastle.
He's a half staff guy, do you know what I mean? De Ligt to Manchester United. Mr. De Ligt, you went from Ajax and Bayern and Juve and them places there, and now you're in the Premier League. What do you reckon to Matthijs De Ligt coming to the Premier League and Manchester United?
I think it's a good signing, as at then Manchester United really needed someone of that stature and that experience.
Is it a good signing now, though, Bola?
And now looking back, I wouldn't say yes because
you wouldn't do it?
No, because they've considered lots of goals. The times he's played, he's not really been the solid rock they wanted. So,
all right, how would you rate that out of 10 then, my boy?
I'll give it a 4.5 from 10. That's being modest. Yeah. 4.5.
Dom Solanke to Spurs for 60 million. How did that go? How would you rate that out of 10?
7 out of 10. He's
7 flat?
Couple injuries, but he's been bagging a bit of goals. But
if you guys were Spurs and you had that 60 million again, would you go out there and get Dom Solanke or would you get someone else?
Probably not. I think I'd go and look at something else.
Why did they buy him for 60 million though, bro?
yeah, he's probably about 40 million, I'd say. Yeah, probably that's about fair price.
Do you reckon there's a world where he scores a lot of goals next year or no?
I think he's still got a bit of offer. He's not that old yet, but he's got something in him, definitely.
Did he get into the Newcastle team?
No, not at the minute, not at all.
No?
No.
Oh no! What about the Championship one from 2011?
Yeah, every chance.
Scott McTominay to Napoli.
Oh, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. He's done a really good job there. I think he's found himself out there.
He was a bit of a meme, wasn't he?
No, I think he's done a job. He would be better than what they've got right now. Like, aye.
Okay, all right. So a 9 out of 10 for Scotty McTominay. If you were a top team, would you go out there and try and get McTominay?
No. But settle down. Hey, what do you mean if we're a top team? If! Tycoon!
When did you get that done?
What is that? It's Dizzy off Bob the Builder.
Bob the Builder? What? Did you get dizzy off Bob the Builder on your leg?
My other mate got Bob the Builder and the other one got Scoop and I got dizzy. I don't know why.
How would you rate this? Marcus Rashford to Aston Villa. First of all, I'll grab the rating off you in a sec, but how did you feel when that went down?
Good, because anyone going from United is better. Villa, don't mind them, they're a substandard team, so it's not too bad, is it?
What would you rate that transfer then out of 10? Marcus Rashford to Aston Villa, he done a little bit for them.
I go 7.5.
7.5?
7.5, good signing for Villa, out of the way from United.
Danny Olmo to Barcelona.
I think it's been a good signing, mate. I know they might not actually stay next season because of the financial thing, but I think it's been a really good signing.
Good purchase at the time?
Definitely.
So would you go out there and get a player like Danny Olmo?
Absolutely, I'd go.
You know, I think you'd fit my system quite well, to be honest.
You wouldn't come to us though, I don't think, if it was at Barcelona.
Give it a rating out of 10 then, lads. Danny Olmo to Barca.
8.5.
Yeah, we'll go 8.5. Yeah.
How about this one, lads? Leny Yoro to Man United.
Adam like Man United, so just that's.
I think he didn't start off quite well, but
injured.
Second half of the season, he's done well.
I'll give him his due. I think he's a good defender.
A 7, maybe, like a 7 out of 10. But I think he will be a good player, like in the future.
Would you take him in Newcastle?
I would, personally. I would take him.
It kills us to see because I hate Man United, but he is a good defender.
Oh, that's a good point, Duran.
That's a 4. That's a 4.5 out of 10.
16. That's a 4.5 out of 10. Mikel Merino to Arsenal for 27 million. Guys, Merino used to play for Newcastle. Oh my word, what do you reckon to that transfer? Merino goes to Arsenal from Spain. Good player, question mark?
I think he's a good player. I think he's better as a striker though than he is in midfield. Like, I've seen him in midfield. I don't think he does much.
Did he play in midfield for Newcastle?
He did, yeah.
Was he rubbish then too?
Didn't play much, to be honest.
To be fair, right, you can't really criticise him because I didn't think he got enough playing time, to be fair.
Yeah.
So, but from what you see, I personally, in my opinion, I liked him. So.
Okay, all right.
He was getting dropped for John Joe Shelby at the time, so that says enough about him.
All right, okay, let's get a ranking then. Merino to Arsenal for a decent amount of money. Out of 10. Out of 10.
That's a 7, 8, maybe 7.5.
I'll go 7.5. Yeah.
7 point
price for the price. It's good money.
Okay, all right, lock it in, lads, lock it in. Pedro Neto to Chelsea for 60-ish million. What do you reckon to that? I'm going to get a ranking out of 10 off you in a sec, but what do you reckon to Pedro Neto first?
He's all right. I think the recent form he's been decent, but for 60 million, I don't think he's worth it.
Nah, you're not having him?
No.
Is he better than Jacob Murphy?
Probably, recently, but I think with Murphy, he works hard, but I don't think he's the best player.
60 million, it's hefty, but what would you rank that then out of 10, bearing in mind the price tag?
I'd say 5 out of 10.
5 out?
Yeah.
It's hard. Sorry, Chelsea, it's very harsh. Okay, lads, we're ranking the transfers out of 10. Endrick to Real Madrid. Okay, so you're going to give me a number out of 10 in a second, but what do you think to that transfer, first of all? Endrick goes to Real Madrid, what were you thinking?
Endrick goes to Real Madrid. Maybe 6 out of 10.
Endrick to Real Madrid, what did you think of that?
0.
0? Why?
Because I'm Barcelona fans.
Yeah, no, but I need objective.
Yeah, 0.
No?
0.
0. Oh my word. Endrick, he's a good player.
1.
1 out of 10.
No, too much.
Not higher than 2.
Listen,
Endrick to
1.5.
1.5. Okay, I get it.
Okay.
1.5?
Respect.
Okay.
Respect. Everybody respect.
Savinho to Manchester City. Savinho. You know Savinho?
No.
Is he worth the 40 odd, 50 odd million that he was bought for? Savinho to Manchester, is that a good transfer, boss?
No, just Manchester have so much money, so they will put money on him.
Would you not, if you were AC Milan and you had 50 million, you wouldn't buy a Savinho?
No, of course no.
No?
50 million would get me a better player than him.
Like Pulisic? What's going on here?
Great.
Yeah, Pulisic it's good, bro, but I don't know. I think I'll take Savinho. Give me a rating out of 10, final rating.
5.
5 out of 10. Wow, lock it in there, brother. That's Raheem Sterling to Arsenal. Okay, it was a loan, but what do you reckon to that move?
4 out of 10.
Couldn't, yeah.
You boys are both agreeing, hell-bent on 4. I'm not going to lie, it could even be lower than 4, boys. He hasn't scored in the Prem. Ruined his career. Yeah?
Yeah, very bad.
Okay, but all I'm saying, was he that good a player even at Chelsea, or what could he have done that wouldn't have ruined his career, actually, is my question, I guess.
Stay at City.
Yeah, stay at City.
I don't think the big bald geezer was having him. Your final call, what is it, out of 10?
4.
Yeah, 3.
He's bringing it down. Come on, lads. All right, call it 3.5. Raheem, the dream. I'm sorry, son. Wake up. Nico Gonzalez to Man City. Bro, I'm going to get you to give me a rating out of 10 in a second. But Man City went and got Nico Gonzalez from Porto for 50 million. Good deal?
Well, obviously they were trying to replace Rodri.
Yeah, they're trying.
Yeah, because you can't really replace Rodri.
Pick a number. You have to be definite.
6.5.
6.5 out of 10 for Nico Gonzalez.
Still like a lot of money.
All right, lad, here we go. Ivan Toney to Al-Ahli. Former Newcastle lad. Ivan Toney goes to Saudi Arabia. What are we rating that transfer out of 10?
For himself, 6. Got the money, but he's too young to go.
Yeah.
Should have stayed in the Premier League, show what he's got.
What are you rating out of 10?
Shocking transfer.
Shocking. 3 out of 10.
Yeah, 2. 2. It's awful.
You've said 6. You've said 2. I need you to decide on a number.
There you go. Meet in the middle. 5. 5.
Cheers, lads. Lads, this is the last one. Jadon Sancho to Chelsea. Used to be England's next big thing.
Dreadful.
Bad.
Dreadful.
What do you reckon of Jadon Sancho as a player?
Send him back. They're going to pay 5 mil, send him back, aren't they?
I think so.
They should do it. Get him gone. Get him gone.
What would you rate that transfer out of 10 then? Chelsea put the money on the table. Be rude.
Oh, 2.
2 out of 10.
2 out of 10.
Oh no.
Anyway, I've got to get Lamar.
My man, he said 2. I had a great time outside St James's Park. Please let us know in the comments which is the worst transfer and which is the best transfer.